PPE, don't we all just love it so much? There are hundreds of different gloves, shirts, welding jackets, all this protection equipment. Today I'm going to simplify it so you know what to wear when welding. Let's start off with gloves. There are 3 things that you need to be concerned about when you choose your PPE. First one is heat, second is UV light, and third is splatter. When you stick weld, a lot of splatter comes off the arc. This is why you need a long cuff glove. Get a thick pair of stick welding gloves, that's usually what they're called, or they could be called MIG welding gloves, and they should be fine. With MIG welding, there's less splatter, but your hands come much closer to the arc. This is why I recommend stick welding gloves for MIG welding. With TIG welding, your hands get close to the arc, but there is no to very little splatter. This is why TIG welding gloves exist. They are very thin, so that you get good dexterity, which is necessary for the precise movements in TIG. But they shield you from the light, the UV light that can badly burn your skin. When an arc is initiated, UV light comes out, which is what gives you sunburn. It comes out of the sun as well. This is why you need some sort of shield to protect you from sunburn. You can get away from the heat by just staying away, but the UV light will always catch up to you. Now, gloves are not always necessary. I know people will be like,
you should always wear gloves, and it's no matter if you're just making one weld, you always need gloves.
Shut up, okay? This is the real world here. If we're making one weld, we don't want to look through all these cupboards for all these different gloves. With TIG welding, yes, always wear gloves. With stick welding, a lot of the time I only wear a glove on my left hand. With MIG, it's not absolutely necessary to have gloves. Do it at your own risk though. Stick welding in particular, the left hand gets way closer than the right hand. The right hand is always on the stinger if you're right-handed. So, back when I was working at a particular welding place, I would go through left gloves at a ratio of 5 to 1. 5 left gloves for 1 right glove. This is why you can just buy left gloves from a particular company, because they are gone through so much faster. On to shirts. As cool as you might look, do not weld in a tank top or a stringer. This is a recipe for a disaster. You're gonna get severely sunburned. T-shirts and polo shirts are okay in a pinch, but can leave the gap between your glove and the cuff of your shirt with burns and around your neck. What I always recommend are cool, temperature-wise, long sleeve construction shirts. These are good if you're on a job and protect you all the way up to the wrist. Still, these shirts should not be stick or MIG welded in, as any spark will just burn right through. Those shirts are okay in a pinch, or if you're TIG welding, I would not recommend MIG or stick welding in them for a long time. On one of my shirts, when I was MIG welding, the sparks came off, burned through my shirt, and gave me a nasty 3rd degree burn here. That is not the wound, it's been a couple months. My number 1 choice for the hobbyist would be a 100% leather welding jacket. This protects your neck, protects your entire torso, right up to the wrist. And these are impenetrable to sparks. Don't test that. I'm not responsible for your actions. These are inexpensive and work very well. I believe this one's by Boss Weld. It costs, I believe, about $80 or something, which for the rest of your life is not really that expensive. The main issue with these though is they are very hot, especially in the warmer climates. I've used mine at my full-time welding job and it's lasted just fine. The next step up would be a jacket like this. This one is made by Lincoln Electric. See, these are leather on the arms, but some other material. I'm not a clothing expert on the torso. This means that it is much cooler and lighter, which makes it way more comfortable. The more expensive jackets typically are more adjustable as well. There's also more ventilation on these jackets, which is nice in a hot climate. Another small thing, there's pockets on them, so if you want to carry some pliers with you or something, if you're MIG welding, great. And a massive warning, do not skip this part. If you are picking up clothing, do not wear a synthetic bit of clothing while you're welding. You want a natural thing like cotton. A synthetic material will melt, clinging to your skin, so you can't take the piece of clothing off that you need to if you get caught on fire. A cotton shirt won't do that. Next thing to talk about, footwear. What you wear in your feet is very important, especially if you're working in a welding shop. What I would always recommend is a steel toe generic work boot. You're going to be kicking things around, there's going to be things on the floor, you're going to maybe trip on something, you need to protect your toes. These are also pretty impenetrable to sparks. I've had this pair for about 3 years now, and they're still going strong actually. I got them at a very generic store, I think it was Big W. Kmart would work. If you're in the US, Walmart, pick up yourself some generic work boots. Paying more is all about comfort. I don't think you get a particular performance boost from them. One thing to watch out for is where the laces go. This part on the cheaper boots is usually synthetic, it's not leather, which means you can get burnt. I got a severe 3rd degree burn on my foot. I was welding on a screw piling, it was rotating, and a huge chunk of molten metal fell off, burned through my boot, through my sock, and caught my boot on fire. This is why it might be a good idea to get the more expensive boots. If you can't, there's a cheaper sort of solution. It's to get these things. I don't think they cost very much, but they go around your ankle here and cover your boot. The stylish thing to do is only wear them on your left foot, because your left foot is forward. But if you want to be safe, function over form, that's fine, wear them on both feet. Never, ever weld in cheapo tennis shoes. I guess you can if you're in a pinch, but be prepared to ruin some $200 shoes. And I'm not really sure why I'm saying this, I think all of you are smart enough to know, never weld in any non-enclosed shoe. Thanks for watching everyone, have a great day, see you next time.